Hello, everyone. It's Pastor Randall, and welcome to our Bible study as we stroll through the Bible and we begin the book of Deuteronomy. This video will be an introduction to Deuteronomy so we can kind of just have an idea of what we're about to encounter as we read this book together. Canonically speaking, Deuteronomy is the last book of the Torah. Its name, which of course, as we've noticed with our other ones, the original Hebrew name is always taken from the opening line. In the beginning for Genesis, in the wilderness for Numbers, and so on. The original Jewish name would be the words, or these are the words from the opening line. In Greek, Deuteronomy means second law, or perhaps law repeated, carries multiple meanings, which is a way. So in the Septuagint, the book was called Deuteronomy, and that went on into the Latin translations and then into our English. Again, this is a recapitulation of the law, which is a fancy way of saying it, or a repetition, but it's more than that. But that's where we kind of begin. Narratively speaking, we have a flashback to Mount Horeb, which is what the book of Deuteronomy calls Mount Sinai. And at Horeb, they get the law, and then they get commanded to move on. And after that brief flashback, we get 5 little speeches. Some folks have referred to them as sermons that retell the law. And then the rest of the narrative propels us forward to the brink of the promised land and gives us the handoff of Moses to Joshua, which I know the book of Numbers has already given us a form of that story. And of course, it ends with the death of Moses. But one of the things that makes Deuteronomy so important and so powerful is a couple of innovations it does, as well as its influence not only on the books that follow it in the Old Testament, both directly and indirectly, but its influence on the New Testament. And that's where we're going to focus our time on this video. Deuteronomy is a powerful book in the sense that it begins to show moral theology, moral philosophy, a humanitarian bent that has not been 100% seen so far. As you notice when we went through Leviticus, many of the laws seem to be more of just do it, right? Don't do it because you got a good heart or whatever, just do it. If you do it, you're okay. If you don't do it, you're not. Deuteronomy begins to form this idea of doing good makes you a good person. And this will carry forward, like I said, and be very influential. We will find out that in the books that lie ahead, we have what is called the Deuteronomistic history. Thank you. Yeah. I should edit that out, but sometimes I like being human. And what that is Joshua, Judges, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, which lives into the philosophy we're about to learn in Deuteronomy. Also, the prophets will draw from Deuteronomy far more than they will any of the other law material presented in the Torah. Jesus, through the writing of the Gospels, don't want to say what Jesus said or didn't say, but in the Gospels we've got, Jesus will quote the Deuteronomy version of the law over and over. This idea of humanism, that even the slavery, which is bad as it is more humanized there. There is this idea of the law is there for people to both have good lives and to be transformed by it. There's a transformative process. There's also this idea that if you follow the law, God will bless you, and if you break the law, you will live into curses. And so the prophets will will hinge on this idea as the Lord reveals to them the words to give, and they remind Israel over and over, if you have not lived into not just the letter of the law, but the spirit as well, you will. In fact, many times out there say, the prophets will say, you are living in the letter of the law, but you're not living in the spirit of it. And that's why we're going to get in trouble. That's why we're doomed. And so this is a very important book. And I think, I know that we have struggled a bit. Exodus had a good story, and then Leviticus was really hard. Numbers had some great parts, but it was also a point. I think we'll find ourselves in more familiar territory. This idea that God cares for people and people should care for each other, and beyond just the moral aspect of it, there's also the development now of identity. God has set us free, thus we will follow God. And to not do that is to forget God's divine grace. And so this is where we are. And I'm so glad you're taking this journey with me, and I hope that you will enjoy the material that lies ahead. Join us next time when we talk a little bit more about the first 4 chapters of Deuteronomy.